dito, it's about, only about maybe 20% believe that I'd win. But of course, it was a popular notion already that in Mindanao, we needed somebody by this time. But in other places, Visayas, they never gave me a Chinaman's chance to win. And yet, I find myself now, I made a few promises. I said that I will go ahead and implement the land reform. This is not the first time. Every week I go out of Manila to the other provinces. This is the same thing that happened. In Sagay, where there was a lot of killing, yan ang problema dyan. Itong mga komunista, they're blaming government for the killings, when actually, you started the spate of murders there. Ang pinakamarami na may tama, the hardest hit group of government election, which was just recent, na makita ninyo na maraming barangay chairman na namatay. And they are killing teachers, killing principals. Pero kung magsalita itong mga wala kayo, may bisita lang eh. Mga wag ninyo akong lokohin kay galing ako dyan. Let us not, I've been there. You know I've been there. That karapatan used to be known as the Nationalist Alliance for Justice, Freedom, and Democracy. I was the chapter president. And karapatan is a front. Just like our barangay captains are our legal fronts. Kayong mga karapatan, mga samahan ng mga demonyo ng Pilipinas, mga, what you did in Negros, is not just fighting. The danger there is you are now implementing the commune system of the discredited Communist Party strategy. I've sent people to China. Those who punta kayong China. So look what the communists did with their communism system. So if you find it still viable for this country, then I will join you. But look at China. It's the party is only there to control the government. Otherwise, it will. But it has gone too big. Dito, you are still killing people, murder, and I said it's not only that's not only the reason of the number of people killed. That's one. It's lawless violence, but they are now implementing their style. That if you are the beneficiary of a land, our land reform government gives those tenants of yours the first option, the right of first to be the beneficiaries, because they were the descendants for many years, toiling the same land from his grandfather. Gross, it is not the case. Alam I read somewhere, a learned man, of course, he said, yung revolution, population. We are now 110, 108, they say. And if we rely only on the available lands being tilled now without improving on the technology, on the yield, we will be forever importing rice from the East Asian countries. Ang problema dyan sa ASEAN, the greatest asset also of the countries that are being utilizing the Mekong Delta. Pero ang Mekong Delta, they say, is also slowly being silted by salt water. Someday, it could not really produce as fast as it is now. And with the increase in population, patay na. So, the Philippines has to, they used to call it invention, but it's innovation actually now, on anything. Not necessarily contrivances or gadgets, but you have to innovate to survive. So we are glad that we have visitors, I said men of goodwill, and I'd like to say to the communists, you have crossed the red line. You know, I have been mayor of the city for 23 years. There never was a time that the military or myself allowed torture or to hurt people who surrendered from the NPAs or captured. Wala talaga. We never allow it. Maybe we wanted as a revenge, but since we are government and we have stand, but you have to have morals to prop us up. Otherwise, we are no different from the barbarians like them. Ang problema nito, in Negros, they captured 4 policemen. And they were battered to death with so many hematomas all over the body. In the 23 years, we never did that. The communists here who take hostage of our soldiers, I go to the mountains every now and then with bomb, bring a helicopter, and if there are many, I bring 2, 3, and retrieve them from the custody. And they have always been honoring that no torture or no inhuman. Doon sa Sagay, ang pulis, pinutulan pa nila ng gillette daw ang ginamit. Sabi ko, no, look, the reason why we cannot develop fully is the countryside is infested with parasites like you. You do not work, you exact taxation. And if you think that the barangay captain is not cooperating with you, with the communist theories and your ideologies, which is rotten already, it is corrupt just like the ISIS, you fight, you kill. I served notice the other day that I will not take it sitting down. I will just maybe, I told my military and the police, gawin mo sa kanila, do it to them also. I've been telling you, I will implement more severe measure. what is it? Maghintay lang kayo. Kasi sabi ko, sumusobra na kayo. And in some areas, malaki masyado, and I am short of policemen and soldiers. But you cannot do it unrestrained, unbridled, uncontrolled, as if you are the killing machine of the Philippines. You try to crucify me about drugs. In my election, I made 5 simple promises. I said, I will go after corruption. And I'm doing it. I've been firing people. I've been changing. I've fired about 5 lawyers. Sabi nga ni Gordon, says, militarization of the cabinet because most of the members of the cabinet are former military officers. He's a lawyer, but I just don't know why he chose to interpret it, When a military man retires, he is for all intents and purposes nothing but a civilian. And second, because I can rely on them. And third is because most of them are fundamentally honest. Those that I got in my wagon, in my journey to the presidency. Second, sabi ko sa drugs. When I was mayor here, I told you frankly, do not destroy the Philippines. Do not destroy our young men and women. We are poor. We need them when we go. And even to buy for our medicines, for even the vitamin C or biogesic, just to ease the pain. We are not rich. Most of us are migrants, and we have not reached that apex of wealth that some have. Life is never fair. Mayroon binigyan ng Diyos ng mga mayaman. Mayroon talagang tamang-tama lang. Nandito tayo, we are here where we need our children because when we grow old, like military, how many of you? 1, 2, 3, 4. They retire at the age of 56. And that's about the time where their children are in college. Or still, if they are prolific, some of them are in the high school. Sabi ko, military, 1 or 2 is enough. You practice, get your instructions from the priest how to do it. Be celebrated. You cannot have so many children where you stay. Because in all probability, you will die in an average of 1 to 10. Your average of dying is about 7. So yan ang ko. I will not allow the communists to do. Then I promised you drugs. And I said, I will kill you if you destroy my country. Who will buy my cough syrup? Who will buy me my Norgesic? Who will buy me my morphine if my children can afford it? Or else I will just while away grooming but in pain. Most of us will die of cancer, if not by the bullet of those communists. So, who will pay for our funeral charges? Who will buy where you want to be buried? That's why we need our children. We cannot afford our children to be destroyed because if there is no one to take care of us, then the quality of life and then the economy will suffer and we go kaput. And at the end of the day, Who's to blame? It's the president. It's the president who holds the... So when I say do not mess up with drugs, because I will kill you. If you are foreigner, sinulosa, better be very fast, because if we meet in one corner, you will die. So with the ISIS, wala akong ano dyan. Totally bankrupt, an ideology of nothing. They just kill and kill and kill and destroy. That's all they do. And what should I do with them? They will also kill you. Courts. I was a prosecutor before I became mayor. I was doing trial work, prosecution in court every day. I know how it is. But in average, we are a democracy. Proof beyond proof beyond reasonable doubt. If I create a doubt, even how little, that criminal goes free. That is the rule in democracy. So what's the batting average of a prosecutor winning a case, getting a conviction in this country, with all the corruption, with all the judges and prosecutors and policemen? I think that we have a better police now, because I also told them, do not go into drugs. You will die. Do not ever think that you are a police or you are exempted. You will be the first to go. And that would be the rule until the end of my term. My advice, just do what is right, period. Just do what is legal, period. And you will not have any problem with me or with government. Now I'm overshooting. Let me read. Let us see what the bureaucracy in this seat of power wants to convey to you. I am pleased to be with you today as we hand over certificates of land ownership and emancipation patents to our agrarian reform beneficiaries from the 5 regions of Mindanao. We have gone a long way in our decades-long quest to emancipate our farmers from the bondage. As of June this year, almost 5 million hectares of land have been distributed to almost 3 million agrarian reform beneficiaries nationwide. Almost 2 million hectares of these lands are located in regions 9 to 13, benefiting more than 960 farmers. With today's distribution of titles, we look positively into the future as government endeavors to complete the acquisition and distribution of almost 550 hectares of agricultural lands nationwide, 81 hectares which are here in Mindanao. These titles represent not just an ownership over the lands that our farmers steal, but also my administration's steadfast commitment to implement genuine agrarian reform, and that is anchored on social justice, peace, development, equity, productivity, and all for our local governments. The time has come for us to fully acknowledge the invaluable contribution of farmers in nation building and in promoting food security despite the many difficulties and challenges that we face. Let me cut. You know, agriculture is the weakest link sa atin. So we have to do more. That's why I said, dyan man si Mrs. Borromeo, land bank, as the word says, it's a land bank. It is a bank that would cater to the needs of the land owners or farmers, but without really being offensive. Pinaka number one ngayon na banking, the number one banking institution now is the land bank, but it is into so many things. I said, go back to your old, the purpose for which you were created. So that the farmers now, kayo, and I'm asking Bongo, sino pa ba, sino nandito pang may ibang congressman? I'm asking you, na yung titulo nila, mamortgage nila sa bangko, ma'am. Hindi kasi magamit nila eh. Ngayon, ito, we are crafting a law that would allow you to use mortgage your title, your land, to borrow money to improve the land. And for the many of you who are really not so keen about farming but want the easy life, you go to the bank, mortgage it, and if you have about 50,000, you go and buy shabu. And then shabu would make you a millionaire in 3 months' time. But do not forget to buy a pre-need and make your reservations in the funeral parlors. You will go there, I can assure you. By giving them actual possession of these titles, we are empowering our farmers and improving their capability for self-reliance and greater productivity. Ang mata ko medyo ang may diferensya. By giving them actual possession in the implementation of the Comprehensive Land Reform Program, by releasing to our beneficiaries the original owner's duplicate title of the agricultural lands awarded to them. I cut here. My orders are to the DAR, give the land to the beneficiaries according to our laws. And those are the tenants who have been there since time immemorial. Now, if you give me time, if you listen, have you had your dinner? Sabi ko, umuna na kayo. Go ahead. When you try to make an assessment or a profiling of a tenant, whether giving the land or allowing the land to be mortgaged to get money, try to figure out from what region he comes from. Ito ang sekreto. Well, my native understanding. Since when I was studying law, I've been trying to figure out why. There are places like in Mindanao, you can convince them by ideology. As for example, land reform. Yan man talaga ang number one nila. That this is the number one hula balo which they use to entice the poor people of the vast lands up. Alam mo, kung mga ito lang, you only have to make them irrelevant. What? The greatest promise that the communist can give is land reform. I have been at it since I became president 3 years ago. Marami na nga. Just make them irrelevant. Nandiyan na eh. Sila, wala pang typewriter. How can they distribute land? Did they have dirty nails? They do not brush their teeth. They do not even have shoes. Then you pretend that you are what? You want to distribute land? By the way, do you know how to spell land? I am insulting you. Kasi because you are killing everybody there. Anyone that is anti-communist or does not like the communist, you kill. Nang ito dito, remember imperialism. Imperialism started the troubles of our country. My mother is a mestiza Maranao. My lola was a Maranao. My lolo was a Chinese. Alam ninyo yan. So, when you deal with, you don't deal with them na lupa-lupa lang. Because pag nagbigyan mo ng lupa, tatulungan mo, if you are there to help, madali na yan. But itong from Negros, bantayan ninyo ha, Negros, yung two Negros na yun, yung pinaka-magulo yan, at Central Luzon. Bakit yan dalawa? Yung dalawa na yan, the NPAs there are the descendants of the tenants when the Spaniards came. When the Spaniards came to the Philippines, they subjugated us, confiscated our lands, and gave them to the Insulares. Yung Insulares are the Spaniards who were born here and never went back to Spain or never, nandito nakatira, never. So sila yung mga mayaman. That's why in Bacolod, yung mga mistiso, yung mga mayaman. No offense intended. I'm just telling you the truth because I should tell you why we are now here. Bakit nakaganito tayo? Yung mga yan, you cannot convince them with anything. Land reform, wala sa kanila. Why? The feudal system that was started by the Spaniards has become part of genetic order. Ano talaga yan sila? They are the ones who experience feudalism at its worst. From the time of the Spaniards, from the time of the Americans, and the time this republic was created, until somebody, hindi lang ako, not only me, but men of, they tried to, itong kay Cory Aquino, ganito yan. Cory Aquino may be popular. She is popular today. Why? For losing the husband in the hands of Mr. Marcos. But what is the fundamental reason why someday, but 30 years from now, we may try to balance history? Because Aquino declared land reform for the entire Philippines, but exempted Doña Luisita. Her own land. To the many, to those who really wanted to be freed from Marcos, that's another feeling. Maybe of gratitude. Pero yung when she said, I would like to declare land reform in all of the Philippines, hindi niya sinali yung kanya. She exempted her. So, you quarrel. What? The one who freed, emancipated, it's an incongruity, they call it. So yan ang itong mga dealing with itong mga tao sa Central Luzon, pati Bacolod. Why Central Luzon? Because of sugar. Yung sugar quota. That was it because America gave the Philippines a premium price for sugar. Kaya yung sugar quota noon, pinagbibilyon, pinag-agawan kagaya nitong lutong ngayon, itong mga STL. Kasi papel yan, pera yan. Pag may quota ka, kapag dala ka ng sugar doon, plus ka, which was not given to the other country. Preferential attention dito sa, because of the Philippines being the former colony. Kaya ang sugar malakas, where? In Negros and in Central Luzon. Both, ikaw, taga-Roongon, both kuwag ko yan. Meron sila doon, di ba? Ponte Verde, they have a large land. In Central Luzon, and that's in Luzon, and in the Visaya. Yan ang sikreto dyan. Bakit? Hindi mo makita. Hindi mo makita. Pero, yan, mga Benedicto, they were the ones where the chosen few that the fathers sold. Kaya feudalism, that explains why pumunta dito ang mga Bisayans. These Americans wanted to develop them for themselves. Awarding them 100,000. See, you want an example? Wallstrom. It's just a few kilometers. That's 1,000 hectares. It's owned by Danding Kuhang ko now. Binili niya kay Wallstrom. It's being planted with banana. Kininto ko lang ninyo ito para malaman ninyo ang history na ang kawawa dito ang Pilipino. And my God, you cannot correct a long justice committed during the Spaniards and the Americans, and you try to wipe out the Filipino and the government, the local governments down there. I will not allow you to do that. I will not. I will give you tit for tat. That's my order to the military. Give them what they deserve. They are not fighting a conventional war. They are not obeying the Geneva Convention. Ganun rin ang Abu Sayyaf. Decapitation. You pay the ransom, decapitate. Like here, you want me to tell you the truth? Kidnappers here, they pay, then they kill. So when I catch you, you pay. What would you like? So, no more kidnappers. When I told the drug addicts, I will kill you. So, no more. No. The gangster there in the streets, I said, I do not want to see you walking. I only want law-abiding citizens walking the streets at night. I do not want gangsters and muggers walking around. So there are no gangsters and muggers. You want to transfer? Well, it is not really. There's a big water behind this building. A few meters is a vast sea. You might want to swim there with your feet and hands tied around your neck. That is how the peaceful. But if you just follow the norm of talo tayo dyan. So I'd like to congratulate the beneficiary. Maghintay lang kayo. Just wait a little while at cracking the law. I said that would allow you to use it as a mortgage. Hindi kasi natatanggap kaya wala silang pangkapital. But for those of you who are intending the money for other purposes like shabu and cocaine, be careful. Be careful. Because I have told you, I have warned many. And the warning not only, well, I don't know, but that's how it is. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, mahal na Pangulo.